Hello and welcome to Metro TV's Community Watch with me, Gabriel Ni Obodai Togbo Ashon, co-presenting with
Akwesi Ado.
Right, so Akwesi Ado is our central regional correspondent on Metro TV. I have come from our Accra office. So whilst I am the substantive host of Community Watch, he is the host here, hosting me in the community to look at a challenge within broadcasting lane 5, right? It's within the South municipality, and there is a peculiar challenge which has led to the death of a little child. Akwesi will be telling us more about this situation, but it has to do with deplorable road, drainage network, and as well flood challenges. Akwesi, what is this chilling story you have to share with us before we delve deep into the issue?
Okay, so this morning I am only having memories of the devastating scene I came to meet here quite some few weeks ago. And then it had to deal with a young child, just a year old, who died as a result of this situation, which has been left unattended to for several years. You see this building right behind us. It was occupied by some foreigners and then a pastor who is a Ghanaian and their family members. And then 2 weeks ago, I received a distress call from a member of the community that a child has died as a result of flooding. So when I came here, I met these foreigners, very devastated, wailing uncontrollably over the death of the boy. So I asked what actually transpired, and then they told me that during the heavy downpour, they had some windows at the back of the building being broken by gushing water. And then within a few seconds, the whole building was full up with water. And so they decided to escape from the building. Okay. But all the doors had been locked, and then the velocity of the water was so tensed that it became difficult for them to even open the doors to the building. And so the only option left for them was to escape through the roofing of the building. And so as they tried to escape through the roofing, the child slipped off from the hands of the one who was holding him, and then the child fell into the pool.
Terrible.
Yes, so they tried searching around but could not find, because the water had gotten to the window level of the building. So with time, the rushing water forced its way, got one of the doors broken, and then the levels came a bit down. And then they found the child lying dead as at when the water had receded a little bit. And so that was how come that child was lost to the parents here.
Such a chilling story. And that's how we address stage 1 of today's program. We'll be moving on to stage 2. Now you know the impact or the effect of how poor drainage network within this neighborhood has led to the death of a toddler. But the next stage, which Akwesi will be leading us into, is to know why we have a community like this with mansions, I could see, huge houses, and yet we have poor drainage situation here, such that it floods whenever there is a downpour. Akwesi, well, before we even engage residents here, what could be the reason?
Okay, so the reason is that one, this could be happening as a result of, let me say, irresponsibility on the part of some developers in these areas for blocking waterways, and then 2, irresponsibility on the part of the South Municipal Assembly, because you see the assembly has been in this community for over 3 years, and then they have been able to identify the problem areas. In fact, they have marked some buildings that are sited or sited in waterways, but they have failed to remove those buildings.
I have counted a number of inscriptions on different houses, waterway, removed by Gassouth, blah, 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 for some years now, and yet you see the structure still standing. Gassouth Municipal Assembly with Honorable Stephen Nyani,
Yes.
as the Municipal Chief Executive, and I know some of the officers there, as well as the Member of Parliament, Sylvester Tete,
Yes.
Honorable Are you impressed with what you are seeing? This is just a tip of the situation. Are you impressed that this is happening under your watch, supervising this and watching on unconcerned for this devastation to move on? So irresponsibility.
Irresponsibility, yes. Because you see, if we allow just a few persons to create problems that would endanger the very lives of the masses, then it means we are failing to take up responsibility. You see, because this is where we need tough leaders who would take more drastic or tougher decisions in order to ensure that we are able to protect the larger number of residents within this area.
Good. So let's move on, speak to the residents, then they would explain how come my dear colleague Akwesi is saying that it all has to do with irresponsibility on the part of some persons who have become residents here, and as well on the part of the assembly and the member of parliament. Let's move in now. We are now at stage 2 of the situation, and it has to do with a huge gully. This must be a storm drain, but I can see that it's truncated, building in the middle of the drain. Akwesi, what is the story here?
Okay, so the story here is that this drain has been blocked by this building right beside us. And you see, the gully is so big that it has cut off the broadcasting lane 5 community into 2. So this part of the community has been cut off from the other part of the community. And so if you reside here and you would want to pay a visit to the man that lives there, the only access for you is to use the ladder here.
Hey, it's reached this point, such that before you access the other side of the community, you have to use a ladder.
Yes, so this is what residents here are used to. For them, it's become a daily routine because they've been exercising with the ladder. Or better still, if you feel a little bit scared using the ladder, that means you would have to climb the walls over there in order to get there. So that means that if you live here and you have a vehicle, you cannot take your vehicle home. You park your vehicle at either here, or you use another route which is far and then you park it somewhere there. So you see, the situation has resulted to the road becoming virtually unmotorable.
This is disgraceful and not befitting of the people staying here. So the ladder is in the middle of the road.
Yes, in the middle of the road. So pregnant women, women with their babies at their back, men, aged, young, everybody uses this ladder.
So let's demonstrate this. Let's try to use this ladder and see how this. I will. Maybe if you can't, you can use the other alternative, which is also terrible, you know. Okay, I just pray that I don't end up falling into this gully. You go first, eh? Okay, so I'll take caution. In case you fall in, I may desist from following. Okay. So that's Akwesi. Look at how he's struggling to be able to descend. So you first have to descend and then you move up to the other point. So it's now my turn. Right. Oh, okay. Maybe I may have to even jump. Okay. So that's it. Why must we have to go through this? Every day, children, women, aged, they're very vulnerable. This shouldn't be. We have a resident, well, standing from a distance and already fuming. He's come all the way from Germany in Europe, and what he's witnessing here, he's told us, whispered to us that this is an eyesore. So he joins us now. See how he's also struggling, just so he climbed up to where, we were standing earlier. Let's get to him to hear his take on the matter.
The concern is I just come from Europe. I'm living in Germany, Hamburg, and I have a house here. And the time I come, I see the place is not good, but I have no one to share idea with him because the way I feel everyone do what he want. But when we are together, we are strong. Many people passing here, I have a video here, women with children. When you can see here, you see these steps. These steps, they pass there, go, pass there, up. Sometimes I feel women with child can fall down. We have no hospital near us. We have no sure that we can call even cranking car to come and pick the person. So I feel it's very bad that everyone looking at it like this, and one day people will die here. I feel it's not good. So I think when we are together and try to find solution, and I think it will be better for us before someone die here.
We understand that your neighbor, well, there is an inscription, Waterway by Gansouth Municipal Assembly. So your neighbor has erected a structure blocking the waterway, which appears so obvious. Have you taken any step to engage him as to why he's put up this structure on the waterway, or even tried preventing or persuading him from doing so?
Yes, what I see, I feel that, sorry to say, we Africans, sometimes we do things, we don't think too much before we do. And if it's me, I will never do that because I could never cross the road where the water is passing to build house. Even I'm a multi-millionaire, I will never do that because it's a road for the water. It's not a road for to build a house. But I don't know how they sell the land and how the people get power to do that. And even the government doesn't do something about it. I don't understand. But I try to take it because I just come and go. But my land is Ghana, Africa. The people, when they put this, they broke the road where the water cannot pass, the government have to do something. And that's why we have a government. And that's why we have a security. So I feel, yeah, government and we people, we have to do something to make here better.
Thank you very much. Please, your name.
My name is Isaka Sheriff Gigima.
Where do we move from here?
Okay, so from here, we have to go to the back of these buildings in order to properly assess the situation. Because this galley we're seeing here is supposed to be connecting to the back of the buildings. And so that what that means is that this whole building is sitting in the waterway. You can see it goes far in there. So this, if we have a proper drainage system constructed in this area, it means that this drain is supposed to be joining a bigger one, which is alongside of the N1 highway. Yeah.
Okay, the N1.
Yes.
Oh, and yet it's been blocked upstream at this point. So let's get to the back of the structures here, so we understand the other side of the story. So at where we are now, we see that the buildings have been blocked, and we understand that the water comes from behind the structures and then goes through a lane downstream. But because it's been blocked, yes, the water then finds its way somewhere else and then creating the messy situation we are seeing here. Let's get to the back of the buildings.
Let us draw authorities' attention to this situation also. Look at the situation behind us. You see that beneath the pathway is now hollowed. So imagine you have a child playing around here. What would happen to them? So you see, we may end up losing all these structures in the near future if nothing is done about this situation we're witnessing here.
I trust the South Municipal Assembly's Chief Executive, Stephen Yanni, Honorable, as well as Sylvester Tete, the Member of Parliament, the Regional Minister, Henry Quartey. This is your call. You are doing so well. Structures must go down within Broadcasting Lane 5 community. And the time is now. Akwesi, let's get to stage 3 of our reportage. And we shall speak to a few more residents as we move on. This is Community Watch on Metro TV.
Your friend Prophet John Edu. In zone I wo area hanom na eba ebebu nkrofo dan na ese ade no. Me na medi ka beto asase wo area na me si dai. Timi na bia nsuo na fa nyina. E fa me de to aso. Me yeru no de to so me yensa ne ba ko ne ntem ho. Na ba se o mu si dai no. E ka jonso mu nya nsuo no kwai ma no. Na MP bi wo akire ho. Wo ma mpere ama nsuo no wo ma nya kwai. One the auto no war, now as I to impene the no. Or my allow any fear net to am so about on the tossum and San Antonio or one in Zonofa. And a menu has okay, Madonna 1, 2, 3. I wasn't in Zonofa, bounce to be almost yes one. One more see that and complain each day. What ya for no? City Council, one by Herbert Troy. Man, who hey, me who yana said Dania Pegesivo. I blocking Zuani Chemuno. I have also the answer Dino or my year at war. Ya pejesi ho ti papa na wotoa me so no obezi je nsuo no onwie ne dai o mada beti nsuo yina betoa abegu no wo na chi wo na je so no hwe a nsuo no ba bebu ne dai no side baby to hwe a nsuo no ba afere bebu dai ni na to agu enti obeka je me mpere ma yamfa nsuo no nto me wo na chi ani we no ho e ma me ame bo ka 77,000 wo ho sa to ayo roso ne ade me masi me fie awie da danza no obi esi ne fie wa enti obayo ye ma ye boa se wonye anu ye wonya kwa ne kese kakra no ni mezi na papa ni ha mezi na mpene se obeja kwa ne kese ame nso na ye de ba afem nti ba na se nso ne to a sanse wo na to ame so miensa no ablock ho na wo na so asa wo me side ha miensa so ablock de fa e betwem fa kwa no so konti no afi nso nya ba bia amfa na wo se beta ye ne ye ba e beta ye ne wo na chi ko fa fie na to ame so no efefi ho yama efefi ho ne bu befa kwa no the problem a wo ha no wo mo e wo soro ho no wo ya chi no wo mo ne ko si nsuo no kwae no.
So we've moved to another lane at the other side where the pastor and Akwesi and the other residents tried explaining to us that we've had areas where hitherto the water used to pass, which currently have been blocked. And so I'll be bringing in ushering Akwesi in shortly to then explain what the situation is from this end, which then affects the other side where we were initially. Akwesi, so we are at the back or at the other side of the
this is
street.
the Lighthouse Lane.
Lighthouse Lane. Okay. So what's the peculiar situation here?
Okay, so the situation is that ideally the rushing water from the other end, and then the other end should be passing right ahead of us.
Okay, so from
Yes.
one stretch
Yes,
ahead of us
yes.
should have a point to pass into the storm drain we saw,
That has been blocked.
such that it doesn't have to get to where we are now.
This point.
Okay.
And
then
then,
the one at our back.
There was another drain also along where that story building is. So some of the water should also pass there. But because those two drains have been blocked, it is left with just this portion. And you see, this is too small to contain the amount of water rushing from this point and then that point, creating the situation down below.
So up there or ahead of us looks like a hill.
Yes.
And also behind also a hill. So it's like we are in a valley.
In a valley.
And so the volume of water that comes here is really huge, such that if there isn't space enough, adequate to contain the water, it may then move elsewhere to become, to cause devastation. So I'm handing over to you. Bring in the residents and let's hear their frustration.
Okay, so here are some residents you would want to engage to paint to us a more clearer picture of the situation at this particular area. So let us speak to some of the residents here. Madam, me patro within the say.
Me di ama anymore. Me ba 12 years ni. But nsuo to nsuo to years na esi ya akwala ketwa free mu no. Nti na eye me wanwa. But nsuo na nkasa ekwan na efa mu na e de besen fire ho no sei no. Sa kwan na esua. Baby ese nka nsuo no na efi soro ene na efi soro oba ene na efi ni sei eba ni nya e wo baby a nka ese ni nya eden e fifa na nka yen ha sei no nsuo bi anye den emfa ho se obia mo besi dan e de esi we ni so obia besi dan e de esi so last me fan say 23rd December ni mu me ko kan sa asem we me da sorry e na abehye me store ye di jabe to me store mu ye hye me store mo se me de me nye yes, me store, but in so na some near high. The sun so no a queen. Shakola Katia onim shio than a papaso. Nen suo, I bet chia quale, a fee bedroom at the naba. A bonting, a be qua qualano. And tia no dear, and said that any winter, yes, Ramo say, yes, Samuel, yes, buying so. Besha baby a quine a dar, no for quine and to my yang. If say about 12 years in ye, and soon qua qualabia was say. And soon Tete said that may even cry me fear or not contain a bisio. And soon as shiny fish will say, ah, na banana de niaba. But this time, dear, and soon a bano, a boa container, a bar codem, a boa cucua quala. Mentia kurani esi kwamenta nti me sramo me poma chow me pa banso a chow mo behwe baby a ekwan ne da na mo fa ekwan even se me kura me dan no e dan na me kuru ne si ni kura po se ekwan da ho na se ebetimi so betimi afa ho kura mo be yin fa ho.
So this is a resident of this particular community, and then what she is saying is that she's been here for almost 12 years, and never have they witnessed a situation as serious as the recent one. And she says the situation is as a result of the blockade of the drainage systems here by some developers. She is pleading to the government to come in and ensure that the structures that are cited in the waterways can be removed, just so the people can have a lasting solution to the problem. She recounts that somewhere around last year, she complained about this situation, and then afterwards she received some threats from persons she perceived to be people who are causing the very problem here.
You're from JD. Actually, I'm very disappointed because I think when this thing happened, I even called the MCE and they said they will come around. So sure, other houses, no, mama home say, mama crying so. But if they mark the wall and they don't do anything about it, I don't think me myself cry me fear crying, I will never allow it because mama came one kasa if you don't come and do whatever is right, everybody so need to me I will not do it. Ain't one can take more time, no more bra, no more share, no more because it's not helping. It's not helping at all.
Okay, so this is an earnest plea from members of this particular community. They want authorities to, as a matter of urgency, come around, do assessment of the whole situation, and then take up pragmatic steps that would end the flooding menace of this particular area.
If you are coming from Accra and using the Accra-Kaswa stretch, just before you get to the old barrier, you would have the Wager Lake to your right, but to the left side is where broadcasting is located. You drive about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, then you get to the community. Akwesi, I'll be coming over to you to see the way forward, how to ensure that this situation in the community is addressed. But we have yet another team member, Rosemary Koko Anyigba. She has been making observations, so it's time for us to know what she's observed so far. Rosie, what have you seen? What have you heard?
Well, first of all, I noticed that when we're coming down, the road is in a very bad state. And then the another side is also the drainage, the place that has been blocked as a result of the flood, where people are unable to cross to the other community. You notice that if that place gets flooded again, where will school people, where will parents, the aged, pass through to go to their homes? It means that it's very serious. So I'm hoping that Ghanaians or anyone hearing me will try and make sure that when you are buying land somewhere to build a house, I know it's very expensive to build. So when you are buying a land, make sure that you pass through the right processes. You don't end up building in the waterway that at the end of the day you have to move out because of flood affecting you. I feel your pain. So you also have to try your best to pass through the right processes so that we don't see this happening again.
Do some of our people really care? What they care about is a place to lay their heads, and they are prepared to go just any extent. They become blind to the realities, knowing perfectly that, hey, this is meant to be a waterway. And that's where what Akwesi mentioned at the beginning of the program, irresponsibility, comes in. If we are all responsible, we'll know that, look, here is marked for a road. So let's leave it for that purpose. That area or that end is for a drain. Let's leave it as such. Then sanity will prevail, Rosie.
Exactly. So we should just follow the right procedure. That's all.
Everything will be fine. Akwesi, so we've gone through different levels, and it's my hope that viewers were also following and they've managed to understand the situation up until this point. What next for us?
Now you see, there is this revolution that I think we need when it comes to development. You see, that is where we question the presence of the town and country planning department at the various assemblies. What are they doing?
What are they doing?
You see, mere inscriptions on the walls that waterways do not solve the problem. After identifying the causes of the problems, what necessary steps do we do? What actions do we take thereafter? The assembly must take action, and the action must be taken now.
You are either doing well or you are not. You are either performing or not performing, or if I want to be modest, then maybe you are underperforming. So if you are within the town and country planning, you are within a department meant to bring sanity in our community, and you come and only write waterway, and for over 3 years you don't come in to ensure that the structure being put up is stopped or even demolished, and over time the structure comes up and then flood comes and destroys properties, then you don't need me to say that you are being irresponsible. You don't need me to say that, look, you're underperforming. Your work is speaking for itself, saying right here within the community that you are not doing well as ordinarily you should do. So don't take it personal from me that maybe I am attacking how you are working. But your work here is not impressive. Personally, I'm not impressed.
And it is speaking for itself. everything here is evidential. So whether authorities are performing well or not, the pictures are there to show.
Right, so from here we are moving to the South Municipal Assembly. Let's see what happens. So we are now at the South Municipal Assembly. We've gone in there to check on the Municipal Chief Executive, Honorable Stephen Nyani. Akwesi, what was the fallout? What happened?
Okay, so Nicholas is the media liaison officer for the South Municipal Assembly.
Okay.
And then he said the MC, Mr. Joseph Nyani Stevens, is caught up in a meeting. So he is unable to see us now. And that he is working around to see if the MCA can meet us at an appointed time. So we look forward to hearing from the MCA, and then when he does get in touch with us, we expect that he provides answers to the problems at the community we visited, and what the assembly intends doing in ensuring that we are able to have a permanent solution to the menace there, because the assembly is already fully aware about the situation.
Then also we mentioned the Member of Parliament, Honorable Sylvester Tete.
Okay, yes.
Usually we are told that MPs do not construct roads or drains and related others. Granted. But they are occupying influential positions that they could leverage on to then bring development to their people. You took a step on that to get the MP or his representative on this program. What happened?
Okay, so you see, the challenge in that particular community is something that may even go beyond the level of the local authorities here. Perhaps the MP should be raising concern in Parliament to draw the attention of the ministries and other agencies that should be responsible for ensuring that such problems are properly dealt with. So I got in touch with an assistant of the MP, Mr. Gideon, and then according to Gideon, the MP isn't around. He attended the post-budget workshop in Ho. And so Gideon promised that nonetheless they would get someone from the MP's office who has an appreciable knowledge of the problem there to also visit the scene whilst we were there, so that he would tell us what the MP has been doing. But I called him several times, and then that person never showed up.
Right, so we shall continue to follow up on this development and keep you updated. So far, we haven't been successful to get the MCE and the MP, but as Akwesi rightly mentioned, the situation may as well beg for the attention of central government beyond the MP and the MC. So we need all hands on deck, central government, the local authority, and the residents, so that collectively we find lasting solution to this problem. My name is Gabriel Ni Obodai Togbo Ashon. I've done this together with
Akwesi Ado,
Rosemary Koko Anyigba Evans, and also Albert Joseph Rimpong is at the office, and he's worked on this project as a visual editor. Catch up with us same time next week. Bye-bye.